Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the last quarterfinal contest of the Tertiary Business Science Challenge 2024 version 6.0. This time it is between the Middle Zone champion and one of the reps of the Southeast Zone. It is between the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the Accra Technical University. You are especially welcome to this interesting contest, brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Our media partners, TV3, Daily Graphic Online. Our sponsors, Gold Ghana, Compu Ghana, MTN Ghana, PwC Ghana, Glyco Life, as well as the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Now, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology defeated Pentecost University at the round of 16 stage. At that same stage, Accra Technical University defeated the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. This contest will therefore complete the quarterfinal contest and also round up our semi-final pairings for this year. Ladies and gentlemen, who will take this last slot? Will it be Accra or Kumasi? Will it be the Southeast Zone or the Middle Zone? Will it be a technical university or a traditional public university? So far, 5 semi-final slots are being occupied by traditional public universities: the University of Cape Coast, the University of Ghana, University for Development Studies, the University of Education Winneba, and the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. The last slot, will it be occupied by a traditional university like the Kumasi Technical University, or Accra Technical University will spoil that record and occupy that slot? Ladies and gentlemen, your guess is as good as mine. Until and unless we complete the contest, we cannot certainly tell. We will see how this one will go. With a round of applause, please join me as I welcome contestants from the two schools to take their seats upstage. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. All right, please introduce yourselves, KNUST.
Adeleke Jaffet, accounting level 300. Divine Poro, final year accounting.
Ben Paul Samo, final year accounting.
You are welcome, sirs. And who do we have from Accra Technical University?
Edwia Obed, BTech accounting level 200.
Rukayatu Ali, HND level 300.
Yeboah AJ, BTech accounting level 200.
You are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As you would be aware, the contest will be organized in 5 rounds. Round 1 is on theory to test your understanding of basic principles and concepts in business. Round 2 is calculations. Round 3 is our business case of the day. Round 4A, graphic business segment. 4B is a true or false segment. The 5th and final round is the riddles. Please join me as we want to experience some academic violence this afternoon. My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Trauli, and I welcome you all to join in this violence because I love academic violence. Let's begin the contest from round 1, theory. This round, like I indicated, will test your understanding of basic principles and concepts in business. Each of you will attempt 7 major questions. For a major question answered correctly, you have 3 points. If it's a bonus, you have 1 point. 10 seconds to give an answer for a major question. 5 seconds for a bonus. 2 attempts only at a major question, 1 attempt at a bonus. Please, if you are ready, we begin this round from the KNUST. KNUST, please, are you ready? All right. You are to explain the concept of confirmation bias and its effect on information processing. Explain the concept of confirmation bias and its effect on information processing.
So, confirmation bias. There is a bias that is said to occur when an individual's decision making is skewed or the individual's decision is skewed by his past information that he holds or something that he believes to be correct.
Please come again, Divine.
Yes. So confirmation bias. There is a bias that occurs in the decision making of an individual where he wants to take the current decision to suit something that he already knows or something that he has confirmed in the past.
Yes, that is correct. ATU, Accra Technical University, explain the concept of attention or attentional bias and its effect on information processing. Explain the concept of attention or attentional bias and its effect on information processing.
Okay, so the concept of attention bias looks at when information is being given out, um, the people choose to take the ones which takes much attention in the information which is being given, and then
Okay, individual concentrated on the aspects that he or she have interested in that.
Please come clear with what you want to say.
Attention bias is occurs when pay attention to only the aspect that you or she have interest in it.
I'll give it 2 out of 3. Next set of questions. Common preamble to the two of you. Please take care. VUCA, VUCA, is an acronym for 4 situations used in strategic planning and leadership contexts. It is often used to characterize a challenging environment organizations face today. You are to identify and explain 2 elements of VUCA as related to strategy each. Identify any 2 elements of VUCA as related to strategy and explain.
So we have ambiguous. So with the ambiguous, it's said to occur when a person makes decisions which are not clear to the person. Also, we have complexity. So with this one, it's said to occur when an information involves certain complex or difficult data or information.
Yes, that is correct. ATU. Unfortunately, there's no bonus here, so I cannot give it to you as a bonus. The other elements are volatility and uncertainty. A major question, common preamble to the 2 schools as well. The reorder level or reorder point is the inventory threshold at which new order should be placed to replenish stock before it runs out. It ensures that organization has enough inventory to meet customer demand or production needs during the time it takes for the new order to arrive. When determining the reorder level for inventory items, several key factors should be considered to ensure that stock is replenished in time to meet demand without overstocking. You have to identify 3 factors each that should be considered when determining the reorder level for inventory items. Identify 3 factors each that should be considered when determining the reorder level for inventory items. KNUST.
So we have demand, lead time, and the nature of the business.
Yes, that is correct. ATU.
We have the holding cost.
okay, so we have the you have to look at the maximum level and then the minimum level, and then also look at the
Maximum level of what? Minimum level of what? What are you saying?
of stock, maximum level of stock, and then minimum level of stock, and also the holding cost of a stock.
It's fine. I'll accept that. It's fine. Next set of questions. Still KNUS. You are starting this for us. The balance of trade and the balance of payment are both important economic indicators. but they differ in scope and what they measure. Explain the difference between balance of trade and balance of payment and indicate their components. Explain the difference between balance of trade and balance of payment and indicate their components.
So with the balance of trade, it's said to measure the difference between all visible export and also import within the country. And with the components we have export of goods and services also. We have export of goods and also import of goods. Then with the balance of payment, it's said to measure the difference between all receipt and payment of inflows and also outflows of money within an economy. And with the components we have current accounts and financial accounts and also capital accounts.
Yes, that is correct. ATU, the current account and capital account are two key components of a country's balance of payment, but they capture different types of economic transactions. Explain the difference between current account and capital account in the balance of payment and their components. Explain the difference between current account and capital account in the balance of payment and their components.
Okay, so the current account talks about the asset of the country without including the fixed asset, which can be converted into cash. But capital account consists of fixed assets.
The capital account includes the capital account include financing cash inflow. The capital account.
Please, I need just one person to speak finally. One person should talk to me.
So the capital account talks about items such as building and then infrastructures. That's fixed asset. Whilst current account talks about cash or liquid assets.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. For our next set of questions, we begin with Accra Technical University. Accra Technical University. What is the primary difference between Mudaraba and Musharaka in Islamic finance? What is the primary difference between Mudaraba and Musharaka in Islamic finance?
Okay, so Mudaraba is an Islamic term which means a capital provider and an entrepreneur. While one provide the capital and one use it to work, and then they gain a profit sharing ratio. Whilst Musharaka is a partnership agreement where two join their resources together to work and gain profit and share it in a profit sharing ratio.
Yes, that is correct. KNUST, what is the primary difference between Ijara and Sukuk in Islamic finance? What is the primary difference between Ijara and Sukuk in Islamic finance?
So, with Ijara refers to a contract between two individuals, but it's mainly for a lease contract. And Sukuk, the Sukuk refers to an accepted form of bond issuance in Islamic finance, where the holder has ownership over certain underlying assets and gains income from these assets.
Yes, that is correct. Common preamble to the two of you. There are various ways to classify public expenditure. You have to explain the difference between the following classifications. ATU, yours is statutory expenditure versus discretionary expenditure. Statutory expenditure versus discretionary expenditure.
So statute expenditure talks about the expenditure which is incurred in compliance with the rules and regulations, and then the discrete expenditure is as an expenditure which which is an optional expenditure, which can be choose to be ignored by the public institution.
That is correct. It's fine. Now, KNUST, yours is transfer expenditure and non-transfer expenditure. Transfer expenditure and non-transfer expenditure.
So with the transfer expenditure, it's said to occur when payments are made to a person where no work has been performed. Then with the non-transfer expenditure, it's said to occur when payment has been made to a person where a work or service has been given out.
I'll accept that. It's fine. Our last set of questions for this round, common preamble, still beginning with ATU. Common preamble. You have to identify and explain one element each of the 3 R's of reverse logistics. Identify and explain one element each of the 3 R's of reverse logistics. ATU.
So we have to withdraw. This looks at when a supplier brings back or when a procuring entity takes back the goods to the supplier due to certain circumstances. Maybe they are not or
Draw. Yes, can you?
Possible cause of the possible cause of the returns by the customer involved.
No, I won't take that. I won't take that. The 3 elements of reverse logistics are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Those are the 3 R's of reverse logistics. On that note, we come to the end of round 1, ladies and gentlemen. The contest is between the Accra Technical University and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. A place at the semi-final is at stake, ladies and gentlemen. Only one of these 2 schools will make it to the semi-final. Will it be the Accra Technical University or the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology? Ladies and gentlemen, our scores for round 1 is upon us. At the end of round 1, Accra Technical University had 13 points, KNUST had 18 points. We'll go straight into round 2, calculations. You have 30 seconds to give me an answer in 2 attempts for a major question, 5 seconds for an answer in 1 attempt for a bonus, 3 points for a major question, 1 point for a bonus, 7 major questions to each of you, beginning with Accra Technical University. We go. MTN's total equity is 400 million cedis, and the auditor set planning materiality at 2% of equity, with performance materiality at 80% of planning materiality. Calculate both thresholds and determine if a misstatement of 5 million cedis is material. I take it again. MTN's total equity is 400 million cedis, and the auditor set planning materiality at 2% of equity, with performance materiality at 80% of planning materiality. Calculate both thresholds and determine if a misstatement of 5 million cedis is material.
okay. Okay, so um 5 million is not material, and the threshold is 80,000.
One out of three. KNUST. Glycolife has net income of 200 million cedis. The auditor set planning materiality at 3% of net income, with performance materiality at 90% of planning materiality. Calculate both thresholds and determine if a misstatement of 8 million is material. Glycolife has net income of 200 million. The auditor set planning materiality at 3% of net income, with performance materiality at 90% of planning materiality. Calculate both thresholds and determine if a misstatement of 8 million is material or not.
So the misstatement of 8 million is material at the planning stage since it exceeds the 6 million threshold set and also exceeds the performance materiality since the performance materiality is 5.4 million.
That is correct. ATU, Graphic Communications Group Limited, issues 300,000 CD commercial paper with a maturity of 270 days at a discount rate of 4.5%. Calculate the amount the company will receive at issuance. There are 360 days in the year. Graphic Communications Group Limited issues a 300,000 CD commercial paper with a maturity of 270 days at a discount rate of 4.5%. Calculate the amount the company will receive at issuance. Assume there are 360 days in the year.
So we have 10,125.
That is not correct. You have one other chance.
We have 225,000.
No, it is not 225,000. Bonus for KNUST.
So we have the cost to be 290,335.41.
200 and what?
90,335.41.
No, it is 289,875. Your major question, KNUST. PwC issues a 500,000 CDs commercial paper with a maturity of 180 days at a discount rate of 3.75%. Calculate the amount the company will receive at issuance. There are 360 days in the year. PwC issues a 500,000 CD commercial paper with a maturity of 180 days at a discount rate of 3.75%. Calculate the amount the company will receive at issuance. There are 360 days in the year.
So the company will receive 490625.
Yes, that's correct. Next set of questions, still beginning with ATU. A regional bank has the following balance sheet information. Total assets 500 million cedis. Total liabilities 400 million cedis. Cash and cash equivalent 50 million cedis. Loans outstanding 300 million cedis. You have to calculate the following ratios: equity multiplier, loan to asset ratio, and the cash ratio. I take it again. A regional bank has the following balance sheet information. Total asset 500 million cedis. Total liabilities 400 million cedis. Cash and cash equivalent 50 million cedis. Loans outstanding 300 million cedis. Calculate the following financial ratios for the bank: equity multiplier, loan to asset ratio, cash ratio.
Okay, so the cash ratio is 0.167, which is 16.7%, and then loan ratio is 60%, and then the equity multiplier. The equity multiplier is 0.8.
1 out of 3. KNUST. A regional bank has the following balance sheet information. Total assets is 600 million, total liabilities 450 million, cash and cash equivalent 70 million, and loans outstanding 350 million. Calculate the following financial ratios: equity multiplier, loan to asset ratio, cash ratio. I take it again. A regional bank has the following balance sheet information. Total assets is 600 million, total liabilities 450 million, cash and cash equivalent 70 million, and the loans outstanding 350 million. Calculate the equity multiplier, loan to asset ratio, and the cash ratio. KNUST.
So the multiplier is 0.156, and the loan to asset ratio is 0.75, and the cash ratio is 0.55.
I won't take that. You have one other chance.
So the equity multiplier we have for the loan to assets we have 0.583, and the cash ratio we have 0.155.
Yes, that is correct. ATU, your major question. If the risk-free rate of an investment is 18%, the inflation premium is 9%, and the expected return on a project is 25%, what is the implied real return and the risk premium? If the risk-free rate of an investment is 18%, the inflation premium is 9%, and the expected return on a project is 25%, what is the implied real return and the risk premium?
Okay, so the implied rate is 2.78%, and then the risk premium is 9%.
That is not correct. You've been bailed out. Bonus for KNUST.
So we have the risk premium to be 7% and the implied roll rate to be 14.68%.
Yes, that's correct. Now your major question, KNUST. If the risk-free rate of an investment is 9%, the inflation premium is 7%, and the expected return on a project is 21%, what is the implied real return and the risk premium? If the risk-free rate of an investment is 9%, the inflation premium is 7%, and the expected return on a project is 21%, what is the implied real return and the risk premium?
So the risk premium is 2%, and the implied real the risk premium is 12%, and the implied real return is 13.08%.
Come again, speak louder.
The implied real return is 13.08%, and the risk premium is 12%.
Yes, that is correct. For our next set of questions, we begin from KNUST. KNUST. Jessica expects to receive 5,000 cedis annually for the next 10 years. If the discount rate is 8%, what is the present value of these cash flows? Jessica expects to receive 5,000 cedis annually for the next 10 years. If the discount rate is 8%, what is the present value of these cash flows?
The present value is 33550.41.
Yes, that is correct. ATU. ATU, your major question. Amadiego plans to receive 2,000 cedis annually for the next 5 years, starting from the end of this year. If the discount rate is 8%, what is the present value of these cash flows? Amadiego plans to receive 2,000 cedis annually for the next 5 years, starting from the end of this year. If the discount rate is 8%, what is the present value of these cash flows?
So the present value is 7,985.42.
Yes, I'll take that. Next set of question, KNUST. The managing director of Studio 502 Limited, Mr. David Gazol, has put up 10 domestic rooms and a 2-story building in Tamale. The 10 domestic rooms were rented out to tenants, from which he received a gross income of 2,500 each for the 2021 year of assessment. He has let out the 2-story building as business offices to some financial institutions in the town. In the same year, 2021 year of assessment, he received a total gross income of 400,000 cedis from the businesses as rent income. Compute the withholding rent tax payable on both properties. I take it again. The MD of Studio 502 Limited, Mr. David Gazol, has put up a 10 domestic room and a 2-story building in Tamale. The 10 domestic rooms were rented out to tenants, from which he received a gross income of 2,500 cedis each for the 2021 year of assessment. He has let out the 2-story building as business offices to some financial institutions in the town. In the same year, 2021, he received a total gross income of 400,000 cedis from the businesses as rent income. Compute the withholding rent tax payable on both premises.
So for the domestic building, it will be 2,000 Ghana cedis, and for the storage building, it will be 60,000 Ghana cedis.
You are talking too fast. I can hardly hear you.
For the domestic building, it will be 2,000 Ghana cedis, and the storage building, it will be 60,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, that is correct. Isa Akodia, your elder brother. All right. The managing director of Global Limited, Emmanuel Ofori, has put up an 8 domestic room and a 3-story building in Tamale. The 8 domestic rooms were rented out to tenants, from which he received a gross income of 4,000 cedis each for the 2022 year of assessment. He has let out the 3-story building as business offices to some financial institutions in the town. In the same year, 2022 year of assessment, he received a total gross income of 800,000 cedis from the businesses as rent income. Compute the withholding rent tax payable on both properties. I take it again. The managing director of Global Limited, Emmanuel Ofori, has put up an 8 domestic rooms facility as well as a 3-story building in Tamale. The 8 domestic rooms were rented out to tenants, from which he received a gross income of 4,000 cedis each for the 2022 year of assessment. He has let out the 3-story building as business offices to some financial institutions in the town. In the same year, he received gross income of 800,000 from the businesses as rent income. Compute the withholding rent tax payable on both properties.
So the 3-story building is 120,000. And And then the room is 2,560.
Yes, that is correct. Our last set of questions for this round, ladies and gentlemen. KNUST. You have to compare two investment options based on their risk-adjusted returns using the Sharpe ratio. Option 1 has an expected return of 10% and a standard deviation of returns of 12%. Option B has an expected return of 8% and a standard deviation of returns of 10%. The risk-free rate is 3%. I take it again. Compare two investment options based on their risk adjustment returns using the Sharpe ratio. Option A has an expected return of 10% and a standard deviation of returns of 12%. Option B has an expected return of 8%, standard deviation of returns of 10%. The risk-free rate is 3%.
So the first option has a Sharpe ratio of 58.33%, as opposed to the option B, which has a Sharpe ratio of 50%. So the investor should choose the option A as it gives the highest Sharpe ratio.
That is correct. ATU, you have also to compare two investment options based on their risk-adjusted returns using the Sharpe ratio. Option X has an expected return of 12% and a standard deviation of returns of 18%. Option Y has an expected return of 9% and a standard deviation of returns of 12%. The risk-free rate is 4%. I take it again. Compare two investment options based on their risk-adjusted returns using the Sharpe ratio. Option X, expected return is 12%, standard deviation is 18%. Option Y, expected return is 9%, standard deviation is 12%. Risk-free rate is 4%.
Okay, so for the X, we have 44.44%, and for the Y, we have 41.67%. And we prefer the X because that have a higher expected return, or the return is higher than the Y.
Yes, that is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 2. We come to the end of round 2, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 4 more rounds to go. The business case of the day, graphic business segment, true or false segment, as well as the riddles. We wait to see how the round 2 went. But whilst we do that, we are reminded that the next time we meet, it will be for the semi-final contest. This is the last quarter-final contest. 5 gone down. We have the final, with the semi-finals coming up after this. Do we have our scores for round 2, ladies and gentlemen? At the end of round 2, Accra Technical University had 11 points, KNUST had 22 points. We are going into round 3. That is the business case of the day. All right. You have 10 minutes within which to resolve an interesting problem. Please, you may take your problem up and let's go through together. All right, let's read together. A flowchart is a type of diagram that represents a workflow or process. A flowchart can also be defined as a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm, a step-by-step approach to solving a task. The American National Standards Institute sets standards for flowcharts and their symbols In the 1960s, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, adopted the American National Standards Institute symbols in 1970. The current standard, ISO 5807, was published in 1985 and last reviewed in 2019. Generally, flowcharts flow from top to bottom and left to right. You have a number of flowchart symbols. Your simple task is to identify the name and descriptions of the following types of flowchart symbols. Yes, there are 10 in all. You have 10 minutes to do that.
The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more.
It's a great source of power, adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact, and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies, The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and available on www.graphicnewsplus.com as you remain abreast of and keep pace with on-the-minute news updates on the go. Home sweet home. Welcome family and friends. Choose the bundle that best works for you from as low as 10 Ghana cedis weekly for unlimited access to all publications. Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. Information is a great source of power, adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact, and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies, The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google.
Please submit what you have done. Thank you. Thank you.
The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become
Welcome back from the break. All right, so round 3. Both schools were given a set of flowcharts diagrams. or symbols, and they were to name the flowchart symbol and then a description of it. There were 10 symbols in all. You give the name, you have 0.5. You describe it, you have 0.5. So each of these flowchart symbols has a name. Now let's look at what we were expecting them to do. The first one looks like an arrow. It is actually called a flow line or arrowhead. And it shows the process's order of operation. A line that comes from one symbol and points to another. The next one is a terminal, which indicates the beginning and ending of a program or process, sub-process. The third one is a process, which represents a set of operations which change value, form, or location, and is represented by a rectangle. The fifth one looks like a diamond, but it is actually a decision. The name of the symbol is decision, and it shows a conditional operation that determines which one of the two paths the program will take. The next one represents a rhomboid, or it looks like a rhomboid, but it is actually input or output. That is a name for the flowchart symbol. It indicates the process of inputting and outputting data, as in you entering data or displaying the results. The fifth one looks like a rectangle with some double vertical edges at the end, but the name is predefined process, and it shows a named process which is defined elsewhere. The other one looks like an oval, a small circle. It's called an on-page connector, and pairs of labeled connectors replace long or confusing lines on a flowchart page. The next one looks like, what shape is this? Like this. It is actually a manual operation. It's a trapezoid with the longest parallel side at the top. It represents an operation or adjustment that is made manually or by humans. The ninth one is multiple documents, and it's represented as a stack of rectangles with their base being wavy. The last one is preparation or initialization, which is represented by an elongated hexagon. It was originally used for steps like setting a switch or initializing a routine. So if you're able to provide all of these, you have 10 out of 10. Let's see what they did. Okay, why are you happy? ATU. The first one, they wrote arrow. And the description, they wrote direction. It's fine. I'll accept that. The next one, I don't know what they were writing, but I can see an L. End process. Next one, rectangle. Restart. Diamond or kite. Head. Heads of team. I don't know what you mean by that. Pyramid. Division of process. Oval or circle. Beginning of process. What? Decider. Flow of information. Hexagon. Various heads of departments. Please, no. 1 out of 10. KNUST. The first one, they wrote arrow, shows the movement of data. That's fine, I'll accept that. The next one, they wrote database, stores information for use. That is not correct. The next one is a process, but they wrote step. That is fine, it's accepted. Refers to a step in the flowchart. It's fine. The next one, they wrote decision. Yes, the one that looks like a kite. It's fine. Steps in the flowchart where a decision is taken. That's fine. The next one, they wrote computerized operations. I won't take that. Next one, electronic output display. No, that is not entirely correct. That is not entirely correct. The next one, the one that looks like a circle or oval, they wrote start or end, which is also not acceptable. Then they have the trapezoid, manual operation. That is correct, which refers to a step or activity done by a human employee. That is correct. multiple source documents. You wrote that that is correct. And the last one wrote annotation. Represent an end to a decision. Now don't take that. In all, you had 5 correct. And therefore, you have 5 out of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 3, ATU had 1 point, KNUST had 5 points. Are we going to see some changes in this round? Please go ahead with your substitutions at this time. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Please, who do we have from ATU?
My name is Nungua Desmond, BTech Accounting and Finance, level 200.
And who do we have from KNUST?
Oseyam Pofuchum. Oseyam Pofuchum, accounting final year.
You are welcome, sir. Common preamble. Graphic business segment. 7 major questions each. 3 points for a major question answered correctly. 1 point if it's a bonus. 10 seconds major question. 5 seconds bonus. 2 attempts only major. 1 attempt bonus. Beginning this round from KNUST, but this is a common preamble. We're examining you on the 3rd and 10th edition, 3rd and 10th September edition of the Graphic Business newspaper. KNUST, common preamble to the 2 of you. In his article on using questions, not complex models, to create customer-centric strategies, Robert M. Benin shares strategies that had been implemented by companies who were going through turbulent times. Now, KNUST, your question is to identify 3 strategies that were implemented by Procter & Gamble over the 5 years despite global economic challenges. Identify 3 strategies that were implemented by Procter & Gamble over the 5 years despite the global economic challenges that they were experiencing. You've been bailed out. Bonus for you, ATU.
High interest rate and burden on debt services.
Oh, how? No. That is not correct. Now your major question, ATU, is to identify 3 strategies that were implemented in the early 1980s by Lou Gesta to significantly transform the fortunes of American Express travel-related services. Identify 3 strategies that were implemented in the early 1980s by Lou Gesta to significantly transform the fortunes of American Express travel-related services, Amex TRS. Bailed out, bonus for KNUST. All right. We go on. Next set of questions. Common preamble. The rise of digital assets in Africa marks a significant shift in the continent's financial landscape, offering both promising opportunities and inherent risk. In the article on future of cryptocurrencies and growing importance of ETFs in Africa, KNUST, which factor is accounting for the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies in Nigeria? Which factor is accounting for the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies in Nigeria?
Continuous currency depreciation.
What?
Currency depreciation. So the thing is that Nigeria is facing a problem where
because of adverse economic conditions, their currency has become there's continuous depreciation in their currency, and hence the crypto is creating an alternative form of store of value for them.
Yes, that is what I was looking for. ATU, which factor is accounting for the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies in Ghana? Which factor is accounting for the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies in Ghana?
It's serving as a hedge. That's it helps in the city is depreciating, so the digital asset is helping to reduce.
That is not exactly what was stated in the article, so I cannot accept that. Do you have a bonus for me, KNUST?
Okay, so according to the article, because of the devaluation or depreciation of our currency, that is, and then because of the depreciation of our currency, the crypto is also giving us some sort of store of value.
No, that is not what was said for Ghana. Ghana's reliance on Bitcoin has grown and amid liquidity shortages in the city. So essentially, Ghana's issue is about the liquidity shortages in the city, and this is highlighting the role of cryptocurrencies as a financial lifeline in times of economic uncertainty. Next set of questions, common preamble to the two of you. In Ghana, election years are often marked by increased political activity, which causes economic swings and disruptions in corporate environments. SMEs, which are already working in a challenging economic environment, find it considerably more difficult to obtain the cash they require to survive and grow their operations. Dr. Andrews Ayiko, in his article in the 10th September edition, identifies the funding challenges for SMEs in Ghana in an election year. State and explain briefly any two of these challenges each. State and explain any two funding challenges each for SMEs in an election year, beginning from KNUST.
Okay, so we have delay in payment of government contracts. So in election periods, what happens is that the government is much focused on campaigning, and hence it creates undue bureaucracies in payment of their contracts. Then we have banks tightening lending conditions. So because banks fear post-election recessions, they tighten their lending conditions for giving out loans to SMEs. Hence, they do not get the needed facilities that they need to operate.
Yes, that is correct. ATU.
So they are facing there is reduced in consumer confidence. That says that the people are afraid to invest in their in the SMEs, and then there is delay in government.
That point has been mentioned already.
Inflation, high inflation. This is reducing their profitability.
I'm not sure high inflation is mentioned specifically. I'll give you 2 out of 3. So it's supposed to be reduced investor confidence, not consumer confidence, but that's fine. The other points are currency volatility as well as slower economic activity and consumer spending. The next set of questions, KNUST, your major question. According to the Minister of Finance, the government is currently in a $900 million Development Policy Operation Program, DPO program, with the World Bank for a period of 3 years to support the budget and the implementation of key reforms. Identify 3 aims of these reforms. Identify 3 aims of these reforms.
So the reform is first, aim towards restoring fiscal and debt sustainability. 2, supporting financial sector stability and private sector development. And 3, improvement of energy sector operation and improvement of energy sector operational and financial performance.
Yes, that is correct. ATU, according to the MD of Republic Bank PLC, the bank was not only profitable in 2023, but a commitment to excellence underpinned by their core values garnered laurels from recognized, prestigious, and credible institutions. Identify any 3 of the awards won by the Republic Bank. Identify any three of the awards won by Republic Bank.
They won a 5-star customer service award, and they won the best mortgage financing bank. And the best bank for industries.
Best bank for what?
And best bank in Ghana.
2 out of 3. It's fine. So I'm considering you. You are being rated as a 5-star bank in service quality for consumer banking, rated 5-star in customer satisfaction for consumer banking, earning a total score of 99.5%, the CAIMG Customer Satisfaction Index, as well as adjudged best in mortgage financing by Grader. Next set of questions, we are beginning with you, ATU, Accra Technical University, but it's a common preamble to the two of you. Still on the elections, Professor Samuel Latte provides a comparative analysis of the two policies by the main parties in Ghana, the ideas of a 24-hour economy and digital economy. He provides a comparative analysis of the two policies in his article on 24-hour economy or digital economy in the 2024 elections, a panacea to economic turbulence or a case of two lemons. ATU, you are to explain the 24-hour economy policy and state two sectors that stand to benefit from the 24-hour economy policy and how these benefits will be realized. Explain the 24-hour economy of the NDC and state two sectors that stand to benefit from the 24-hour economy policy and how those benefits will be realized.
Thank you, sir. The 24-hour economy is the NDC policy that operations are going to stay 24 hours without stop. That means it's going to run even in the non-traditional hours. And the sectors that are people that are influenced in terms of business, it will help them expand their operational hours to work, and with the people they will have, that's the transportation and transportation service, example transportation services and restaurants.
And restaurants who operate in the night will also be taxed.
How will they benefit? How will this benefit be realized from those sectors?
So with the business, they will be able to meet, they will have flexibility, they will be able to be flexible to meet the demands of both local consumers and international consumers. And with the individuals or the citizenry, they will be able to have access to domestic or basic services and create more job for the citizens of Ghana.
You've still not answered my question. You mentioned two specific centers. You mentioned transportation and restaurants. And I'm asking, how will the 24-hour economy benefit those sectors?
Okay, with the transportation, it will benefit them because they will be working 24 hours non-stop. And they are going to have productivity and raise their productivity and gain more revenue because of their working hours being 24 hours as compared to what we have now. And with the restaurants, they are going to also work 24 hours. They'll have people working at night to patronize them and increase their sales.
That is correct. Now, KNUST, you have to explain the digital economy policy of the New Patriotic Party and state two ways in which businesses stand to benefit from the digital economy policy and how those benefits will be realized. Explain the digital economy policy and state two ways in which business stand to benefit from that policy and how the benefits will be realized.
We have with the financial sector, it is in providing financial inclusion to consumers, which will aid in reducing poverty. Then also we have in the business sector, it said that it aids in making business more dynamic to the environment.
You didn't explain what the digital economy is about.
So with this economy, it said that it's about how to improve innovation and also provide customer improvement in the economy.
It's fine, let's go on. It's fine. Yes, it's accepted. For our next set of questions, ATU, public spending has slowed down since 2022, notably all expenditure sub-items including capital expenditure. What was the wage bill of Ghana for 2019, 2023, and a percentage change over that period? What was the wage bill of Ghana for 2019, 2023, and percentage change over that period?
Um, 2019 is 37 billion, and 2023 is 24 billion.
Are you talking to yourself? That is not correct. Bonus for KNUST.
So, in 2019, the wage bill was 22.2 billion Ghana cedis, and in 2023, the wage bill was 50.8 billion Ghana cedis, and the percentage change was 128.83%.
Yes, that's correct. Your major question, KNUST. What was the capital expenditure of the country for 2019, 2023, and the percentage change over that period? Capital expenditure for 2019, 2023, and the percentage change over that period.
So the capital expenditure for 2019 was the capital expenditure for 2019 was 16 billion Ghana cedis, and for 2021 was 21. Sorry, the value for 2019 was 16 billion Ghana cedis, and the value for the current year is 21 billion Ghana cedis, and the percentage change is 31.25%.
Yes, that's correct. The last set of questions for this round. Common preamble. In the article on 2024 media budget review, has the IMF program improved a lot? Synergy Ghana Limited provides an outlook of the country over the short to medium term. What is the outlook of the country in the following sectors? What is the outlook of the country in the following sectors? ATU, rail sector. The rail sector. What is the outlook of the country in that sector?
So with the rail sectors, there was outlooks.
All right, we can move on. Bonus for KNUST.
So the outlook for the rail sector talked about the overall GDP and the non-oil GDP, stating them both at 4.76 for the overall GDP and 4.83% for the non-oil GDP.
Yes, that is correct. And now your major one is the fiscal sector. The fiscal sector.
So with the fiscal sector, they talked about how they had revised the expenditure to 219.7 billion Ghana cedis, as well as stating a fact that the overall deficit for a particular range of years from 2024 to 2027 was 4.6%.
Yes, that is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 4A, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of round 4A. The contest is still between KNUST and Accra Technical University. A place at the semi-final is at stake. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we have as scores at the end of round 4A? Reminded that the program is a Tertiary Business Science Challenge brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with ICAG and GTech, Media Partners TV3, Daily Graphic, and Graphic Online. Our sponsors, MTN, PwC, Glyco Life, Compi Ghana, Ghana National Association of Teachers, and Gwel Ghana. At the end of round 4A, the scores. KNUST had 20 points. Accra Technical University had 7 points. We are going into round 4B, the true or false segment. In this round, I'm going to give you a set of statements. Your duty is to tell me if the statement is true or false. If you answer correctly, 2 points. If you get it wrong, -1. You may decide not to answer, in which case we can pass it on to the other school under the same condition. You have 10 seconds within which to give me an answer. Beginning this round from the Accra Technical University, ATU. ATU. Inspection of records and documents is considered more reliable evidence compared to inquiry and observation. True or false? Inspection of records and documents is considered more reliable. Is considered more reliable evidence compared to inquiry and observation. True or false?
True.
Yes, it's true. KNUST. Evidence obtained from external confirmations is less reliable than evidence obtained from internal documents and records. True or false? Evidence obtained from external confirmations is less reliable than evidence obtained from internal documents and records. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. ATU, a novation is valid only with the consent of all parties to the original agreement. True or false? Novation, that is in the law of contract, is valid only with the consent of all parties to the original agreement. True or false?
False.
No. KNUST. A contract transferred by the novation process transfers all duties and obligations from the original obligor to the new obligor. True or false? A contract transferred by the novation process transfers all duties and obligations from the original obligor to the new obligor. True or false?
True.
Yes, it's true. ATU. Kaizen costing aims to achieve large cost reductions through radical changes in processes and systems. True or false? Kaizen costing aims to achieve large cost reductions through radical changes in processes and systems. True or false?
True.
No, it is not true. It is not true. KNUST. Kaizen costing requires significant investment in new technology and equipment to achieve cost savings. True or false? Kaizen costing requires significant investment in new technology and equipment to achieve cost savings. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. ATU, the point of tangency between a convex isocant and an isocos line represent an optimal combination of inputs. True or false? The point of tangency between a convex isocant and an isocos line represent an optimal combination of input. True or false?
It's false.
No, it is not false. KNUST, if two isocost lines are parallel, then both have the same input price ratio, but the one further from the origin represents a higher level of total cost. True or false? If two isocost lines are parallel, then both have the same input price ratio, but the one further from the origin represents a higher level of total cost. True or false?
False.
No. For the next set of questions, we begin with UK and UST. Legitimate power is derived from an individual's expertise, knowledge, or specialized skills within the organization. True or false? Legitimate power is derived from an individual's expertise, knowledge, or specialized skills within the organization. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. ATU, coercive power, is based on an individual's ability to reward others for compliance with their requests or directives. True or false? Coercive power is based on an individual's ability to reward others for compliance with their requests or directives. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. KNUST, in public procurement, margin of preference is allowed for only international competitive tendering and or national competitive tendering. True or false? In public procurement, margin of preference is allowed for only international competitive tendering and or national competitive tendering. True or false?
True.
Yes, true. ATU, eligibility for margin of preference for goods is determined by the sources of the domestic goods and not by the nationality of the tenderer. True or false? Eligibility for margin of preference for goods is determined by the sources of the domestic goods and not by the nationality of the tenderer. True or false?
True.
Yes, true. And now the last set of questions for this round, still beginning with KNUST. KNUST, inventory turnover ratio is inversely related to the efficiency of inventory management. True or false? Inventory turnover ratio is inversely related to the efficiency of inventory management. True or false?
False.
Yes, it's false. And now to you, ATU. An increasing inventory turnover ratio implies that the inventory levels are increasing. True or false? An increasing inventory turnover ratio implies that the inventory levels are increasing. True or false?
It's false.
Yes, it's false. And that is the end of round 4B. We have one final round to go, that is the riddles. Ladies and gentlemen, the scores for round 4B is upon us. But before then, we are reminded that the program is streaming live on Facebook, Daily Graphic Ghana, as well as on YouTube. Our media partners are TV3, Daily Graphic, and Graphic Online. Our sponsors, Gold Ghana, Compu Ghana, MTN Ghana, PwC Ghana, Glyco Life, as well as the Ghana National Association of Teachers. At the end of round 4B, the scores. Accra Technical University had 5 points, KNUST had 11 points. We are going into the final round, which is the riddles. There will be 5 riddles in all. They are all open to both of you. The school to ring their bell first will be allowed to answer. They will have 10 seconds within which to give an answer. If they answer wrongly, they can no longer partake in that particular riddle. If there are further clues, I'll read them to the hearing of the remaining school. Depending on the clue at which you answer, you may get 5 points. That is answering on the first clue. 4 points, answering correctly on the second clue, or 3 points, answering on any other clue thereafter. 5 clues, 5 riddles. Please, are we ready? ATU.
Yes, sir.
Are we ready, KNUST? If you are ready, let me hear your bell, KNUST. And that of ATU. All right, riddle number 1. I am a concept closely related or associated with meetings in an organization. I go hand in hand with meeting minutes to ensure that all tasks are completed. In fact, I am generally born out of the minutes. 3. For me to be effective, I should be given a deadline and assigned to either an individual or a group of people. 4. I help to keep teams organized, accountable, track their progress, and track their workload. 5. I am a task with clearly outlined details and associated due date that is assigned to one or several of the meeting participants to complete. Who am I? KNUST.
Work schedule.
What?
Work schedule.
No, that is not correct. That is not correct. ATU.
Register.
It is not a register. It's called an action point or action item. Action point. Riddle number 2. I am a fixed income security that is issued in small dollar denominations. I am generally structured as zero coupon bonds with a maturity of between 8 and 15 years. I am issued mainly by municipalities, counties, and states to fund expensive infrastructure projects and capital expenditures. Yes, KNUST.
Municipal bonds.
No, that is not what I'm looking for. And by businesses as corporate bonds. Businesses also issue them. 4. My small denominations attract me to average retail investors who may not have large amounts to invest in traditional bonds. And then 5. I am a bond that has a face value of less than $1,000. I am usually rated A or better in the bond market. Who am I? Time. Yes.
Treasury bill.
No, it is not a treasury bill. It is called baby bonds. Baby bonds. Riddle number 3. I am a term associated with groups, but first popularized in sociology. I could be set up as models of behavior or as representing goals or attainments. As a group, I may be positive or negative, encompassing respective behavior that is aspired to and behavior that is rejected as inappropriate. I can also change over time as attitudes and beliefs evolve. I exist to provide a point of comparison that assists an individual in integrating with their social environment. Marketers can evoke me as a way of predicting and guiding consumer behavior. 5. I am essentially a collection of people that we use as a standard of comparison for ourselves, regardless of whether we are part of that group. Who am I? KNUST.
Role model.
No, it is not a role model. It is not a role model. ATU. Have they been bailed out? Okay. Alright.
Segments.
No, it is not segment. It is a reference group. Reference group. Riddle number 4. I am a government organization that has a separate entity and principal activity. I am a separate legal entity with the power to contract in my own name and can sue and be sued. 3. I am owned by the government, but I operate as a commercial business. KNUST.
Government business entities.
Yes, government business enterprise. And now the last riddle for this contest. Last question. 3 points. They answered on the third clue. 3 points. Riddle number 5. I am one of the most common cyber crimes, with my origins as an element of email attacks. My aim is to get recipient to open, respond to, and interact with the message. 3. I can dramatically enhance the efficacy of phishing and other email-based cyber attacks by deceiving the receiver into trusting the email and its sender. ATU.
Phishing.
Oh, Rade. No. 4. In my attacks, the sender forges email headers so that client software displays a fraudulent sender address, which most users take at face value. And then 5, I'm a practice used in scams and phishing attacks to deceive people into believing the message came from a known or trusted source. KNUST.
Spoofing.
Spoofing is correct. They answered on the last clue, that is 3 points. On that note, we come to the end of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, the contest between ATU and KNUST has come to an end. The score for round 5, ATU had no points, KNUST had 6 points. We await the final results to see who won this contest. We are reminded that this is the last quarter-final contest. The next time we meet here, it will be for the semi-final contest. And at the end of this, when we get to know the results, I'll tell you what the semi-final matchups are. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we wait the final score. But before then, ATU, how do you assess the contest?
Okay. It didn't go as we wish, but and moreover, we were not expecting more because we know them. So we are okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay. What do you think went wrong or didn't go in your favor?
Okay, it's so about the preparation because a lot of factors, yeah.
Okay. Now, should you not win this contest, it means you are out of the competition. What will be your major takeaway from the Tertiary Business and Challenge 2024? Each of you should speak to me.
I have realized the essence of continuous learning. For one to excel in this competition, one must keep on improving day in and day out. we have two more years to go, so we'll bounce back strongly next year.
Okay.
Okay, I'm leaving, but I was I was saying to myself that if I should have gone to the work environment without being here, I might have not known many things that pertains to the course that I was doing. But being here is an opportunity of learning new things.
Okay, for me personally, I'll commend my fellow colleagues because we actually plan to use this year's platform to gather momentum or to learn something. And the best way you can learn when you have someone who is a benchmark lashing you, it motivates you to learn more. We've accepted it because we are not really versed for it. And secondly, I can say that TBS will let you, gives you the channel not to be limited in the mind, but to go beyond borders. So we are grateful for the result. Whatever that comes out, we are grateful and we'll bounce back strongly next year.
KNUST, how do you assess the contest overall?
Okay, so today was also another learning point for us, and then we've identified deficiencies in our game, and then we are going to come back stronger.
All right. What seemed to have worked for you in this contest?
I'd say we've developed a spirit of collaboration that has helped us achieve our level right now. You can see from the calculations, the collaboration was really high with our little brother Adeleke, so that's what is really a key item that helped us win this contest.
But did you say you've won the contest? You know the final results. But what have you learned from the TBS stage so far, each of you?
I would say three things. The first one being the spirit of collaboration, the ability to be creative, and the spirit of perseverance. That one too, I've really attained it.
Okay, so I'll start by saying I've learned that I should read and read and read. So I should read and cover a lot. And I've also learned teamwork and then team spirit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say my biggest lesson here is like how to engage in continuous learning. So, you should be learning like every day.
All right, this one I heard it loud and clear. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, our final results at the end of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the contest, Accra Technical University had 37 points. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology had 82 points. By this result, by the powers in me vested, I hereby declare that KNUST has qualified to the semi-finals of the Tertiary Business Science Challenge 2024 version 6.0. Congratulations to you, KNUST. For you, ATU, unfortunately, this is where your journey in TBS 2024 will have to come to an end. You offered your best, but indeed, like you said, it's a learning experience for a better performance next year. We thank you so much for coming and for making this competition exciting and for offering all of us your intellect. Thank you so much. We'll see you next year. Ladies and gentlemen, There were 6 quarterfinal contests, the last of which we just witnessed. And with the score of 82 points, indeed, I'm sure we can confirm that KNUST had the highest score at the quarterfinal stage. Yes. And of course, like I always say, to whom it may concern, at the end of the quarterfinals, we have 3 very interesting pairings with 6 schools that have qualified to the semifinals. The 6 schools, beginning from the first quarterfinal contest, the University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, University for Development Studies, University of Education Winneba, SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. As you can see, they are all public universities. Now, from these 6 schools, we have 3 semi-final contests. Semi-final contest 1. Semi-final contest 1, ladies and gentlemen, will be between the University of Cape Coast and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The second semi-final contest will be between the University for Development Studies and the University of Education Winneba. The third semi-final contest will be between the University of Ghana and the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Now, from these 3 contests, only 3 will make it to the grand finale. Yes, there can be only 1 winner per contest. There are no ifs or buts. You need to put on your A game, all 6 schools. Congratulations to you all. I'll see you at the semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an interesting quarter-final episode. 6 contests down the line, 6 schools qualifying to the semi-final stage. On behalf of Graphic Business, ICAG and GTech, on behalf of TV3, Daily Graphic Online, MTN, PWC, NAT, GlycoLife, CompuGhana, Gold Ghana, on behalf of my technical team, yes, and everybody who came to support, from the MD Atuafo, Franklin Sowa, Samuel Isel, Hussein Zachary, David Abel, Yvonne Aye, Prosper Zuma, NSJC, David Gazo, Lawrence Asari, Jacob Doku, Felix Tay, Joshua Mpenua, Evans Tayuba, Harrison, and Franklin Aka. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Al Hassan Yusuf Traule. Until I see you at the semi-final stage, remember that I love academic violence. It is bye-bye for now. Stay safe.